Hello and welcome to Star Well in the Storyteller's Lair. Today's story is Cinderella. Cinderella is a story that's very old and has many versions across different cultures with names like Geshen from ancient China or Aschenputtel from 1800s Germany, which culminate into what we know as the modern-day Cinderella. So let's start. There was once a rich man whose wife lay sick, and when she felt her end drawing near, she called to her only daughter to come near her bed and said, "Dear child, be pious and good, and God will always take care of you. And I will look down upon you from heaven and will be with you." And then she closed her eyes and expired. The maiden went every day to her mother's grave and wept, and was always pious and good. When the winter came, the snow covered the grave with a white covering, and when the sun came in the early spring and melted it away, the man took to himself another wife. The new wife brought 2 daughters home with her, and they were beautiful and fair in appearance, but at heart they were black and ugly. And then began very evil times for the poor stepdaughter. "Is this stupid creature to sit with us in the same room?" said they. "Those who eat food must earn it. Out upon her for a kitchen maid." They took away her pretty dresses and put on her an old gray kirtle and gave her wooden shoes to wear. "Just look now at the proud princess, how she is decked out," cried they, laughing. And then they sent her into the kitchen. There she was obliged to do heavy work, from morning to night, get up early in the morning, draw water, make the fires, cook, and wash. Besides that, the sisters did their utmost to torment her, mocking her and strewing peas and lentils among the ashes, and setting her to pick them up. In the evenings, when she was quite tired out with her hard day's work, she had no bed to lie on, but was obliged to rest on the hearth among the cinders, and as she always looked dusty and dirty, they named her Cinderella. It happened one day that the father went to the fair and asked his 2 stepdaughters what he should bring back for them. "Fine clothes," said one. "Pearls and jewels," said the other. "But what will you have, Cinderella?" said he. "The first twig, father, that strikes against your hat on the way home. That is what I should like you to bring me." So he brought for the 2 stepsisters fine clothes, pearls, and jewels on his way back. As he rode through a green lane, a hazel twig struck against his hat. He broke it off and carried it home with him, and when he reached home he gave to the stepdaughters what they had wished for, and to Cinderella he gave the hazel twig. She thanked him and went to her mother's grave, and planted this twig there, weeping so bitterly that the tears fell upon it and watered it, and it flourished and became a fine tree. Cinderella went to see it 3 times a day, and wept and prayed. And each time a white bird rose up from the tree, and if she uttered any wish, the bird brought her whatever she had wished for. Now it came to pass that the king ordained a festival that should last for 3 days, and to which all the beautiful young women of the country were bidden, so the king's son might choose a bride from among them. When the 2 stepdaughters heard that they too were bidden to appear, they felt very pleased and called Cinderella, "Comb our hair, brush our shoes, and make our buckles fast. We are going to the wedding feast at the king's castle." Cinderella, when she heard this, could not help crying, for she too would have liked to go to the dance, and she begged her stepmother to allow her. "What? You, Cinderella?" said she. "In all your dust and dirt, you want to go to the festival? You that have no dress and no shoes, you want to dance?" But as she persisted in asking, at last her stepmother said, "I have strewed a dish full of lentils in the ashes, and if you can pick them all up again in 2 hours, you may go with us." Then the maiden went to the back door that led to the garden, and called out, "O gentle doves, O turtle doves, and all the birds that be, the lentils that in the ashes lie, come and pick up for me." The good must be put in the dish, the bad you may eat if you wish. Then there came to the kitchen window 2 white doves, and after them some turtle doves, and at last a crowd of all the birds under heaven, chirping and fluttering, and they alighted among the ashes. And the doves nodded with their heads and began to pick, peck, pick, peck. And then all the others began to pick, peck, pick, peck, and put all the good grains into the dish. Before an hour was over, all was done, and they flew away. Then the maiden brought the dish to her stepmother, feeling joyful and thinking that now she should go to the feast. But the stepmother repeated what she said earlier. She said that Cinderella doesn't have any clothes nor shoes, and she would be laughed at. And when Cinderella cried in disappointment, she added, "If you can pick 2 dishes full of lentils out of the ashes, nice and clean, you shall go with us," thinking to herself, for that is not possible. When she had strewed 2 dishes full of lentils among the ashes, the maiden went through the back door into the garden and cried what she did previously. So the birds came back and pick, peck, pick, peck. They began to sort out the good grains into the dish and left the bad grains. And before half an hour was over, it was all done, and they flew away. Then the maiden took the dishes to the stepmother, feeling joyful and thinking that now she should go with them to the feast. But she said, "All this is of no good to you. You cannot come with us, because you do not have any proper clothes, and you cannot dance. You would put us to shame." Then she turned her back on poor Cinderella and made haste to set out with her 2 proud daughters. And as there was no one left in the house, Cinderella went to her mother's grave under the hazel bush and cried, little tree, shake over me, that silver and gold may come down and cover me." Then the bird threw down a dress of gold and silver, and a pair of slippers embroidered with silk and silver. And in all haste she put on the dress and went to the festival. But her stepmother and sisters did not know her, and thought she must be a foreign princess. She looked so beautiful in her golden dress. Of Cinderella they never thought at all, and supposed that she was sitting at home, arid, picking the lentils out of the ashes. So that's it for part 1. The story is a little bit longer than the last, so I'm going to have to make this into 2 parts, especially because I have something to go do now. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed it, and please give me some suggestions of stories I should read next, maybe different cultures from around the world stories or something like that. Anyways, bye-bye!